a legend in the studio, right? Yeah, I promised you that someone will be passing through, and we're so happy to see him. It's been, hey, Charlie, by now they're at least a year, right? Israel Lai, Izzy R himself is here with us on the Super Morning Show. Izzy, how nice to see you.
Yeah, good to see you too. And unfortunately, I have to bring back this question about your stool wife.
I mean, it didn't even take you 10 seconds to put me in trouble. Why are you like this?
We finally found one, or you're still vetting?
Well, I mean, you know, there must be an audition process. Well, look at me, I'm answering him. Let's move on. Izzy, I would ask what you've been up to, but we all know. We know that you've been quite involved in all the activities of Influencer Africa.
Yeah.
And that's what brings you to us today.
Yes.
We're very exciting. You've come with your friends.
Yes, I
see
have.
Delasi. Delasi Edukono is senior strategist at Influencer Africa. And Professor Abnaye Buabenin is...
Big title.
Massive. Yes, Prof is the head of the Department of Communication Studies at the University of Ghana. Prof, it's nice to see you. How are you?
Very good to see you too. I'm good.
Excellent. All right. So we've got a big conversation to have about a big event coming up called Creatorthon.
Yeah.
What is Creatorthon?
Delasi will take that.
Thank you very much. So Creatorthon is basically a celebration of creators and influencers in Ghana and in Africa. So this is the second edition that we are putting together, and Creatorthon is basically where we realized that content creation is something that was more chanced upon than was laid down. So we also make periodic efforts to bring content creators together and then learn together in a fun way about how we can better our craft, hone our craft, and then make better money from our craft whilst delivering value to the people that we work with.
Oh, that's special. It's not the kind of thing that I've actually heard done before, but I can absolutely see why it's important for us to be thinking that way. Now, tell us about the primary goal. Okay, what are you aiming to achieve here, and what can those who participate expect from the experience?
All right, so we set out to have, as Delasi said, learning in a fun way. And then there was this event that happened, Ghana Report Summit, and I was there as the moderator.
Right.
And I just went out to they were talking about misinformation, disinformation ahead of the election. And then I said, okay, I'm pledging as Influencer Africa to see what we can do with the creators and influencers as well, to see, how we can also fight misinformation, disinformation. It turned out that Professor Benny was sitting in the session, and she reached out to me thereafter, and I've done something with her, with the department in the last election, the previous election, 2020. So she reached out to me and said, okay, you remember that thing we did in the 2020 election? We're going to do it again. And I'd want you, because you're Influencer Africa, to see if you can select some influencers to get this thing done. Then I said, okay, rather than select a few influencers, why don't we bring as many influencers as possible together? Right. That's where Prof comes in. So Prof.
Yes. So the object is to do media information literacy education, get Ghanaians, especially our youth, to become a bit more conscious in our information consumption around the elections, because we know that during this period, quite a bit of misinformation will be peddled. Yeah. And so when we got in touch with Israel, the agreement we had, and we thought it was a brilliant idea, was to do what we were seeking, the media and information literacy education, but marry it with a Creatorthon, so that Creatorthon becomes a platform where we get a lot of influencers coming together, have conversations about what their role could be in sanitizing the information ecosystem. How can they use their creative competences and their access to young people in Ghana to contribute to better information around the elections? And so on Saturday, we're doing a media and information literacy Creatorthon.
Wow. Love it, love it, love it. If you just joined us, we're talking to Influencer Africa. And when you hear that, you know it's all about Izzy and his squad. Yes, Israel Lai is here with Delasi Edukunu and Professor Yabua Benin from the Department of Communication Studies, University of Ghana. They've come together to do this amazing event called the Creatorthon, and it's all about giving some education to influencers about the gatekeeping role that they can play in managing information.
Because indeed they have quite a following. They're quite influential. You know, they're people who there are radio stations in Ghana these days that will struggle to get 50,000 people listening to them. But they are influencers who have millions
Indeed.
of followers.
Indeed.
And when they communicate to them, I mean, they're drawing them along. One of the guys we have on Creatorthon tomorrow is one of the speakers, Kali J. Kali J is extremely influential when it comes to Twitter.
Yeah.
And I mean, they are the ones behind the organization of some of these anti-Galamsey fights and all that. So this is a recognition of their influence. And we're saying that, yes, you have that influence. Now, let's come together so they can harness it so it can be even more influential. One of the challenges the creators have significantly is about putting out information that then affects their credibility. So this is an opportunity for you to continue to do what you do, but gain that credibility that like a Joy FM has gained over the years, because they've come to be known as an organization that's credible. So we're trying to bring them along that path. And so yes, Creatorthon tomorrow. And as Delasi has indicated, we're doing it, but we're doing it in a fun way, because we know we work with creators all the time. And we know that you can't bring them together and have a seminar and preach at them. So we're creating a fun environment, and then during that fun, we drop those nuggets of wisdom.
Fantastic. Now, look, I mean, we're all fans of Israel Lai, so we know what you've been up to. But there are some who may have been hiding under a rock, and for their benefit, maybe you can give us just a summary of what Influencer Africa is about.
Okay, so Influencer Africa is an influencer marketing agency, and what we do is we connect brands to influencers. So a brand wants to do something, it just doesn't have to be like an FMCG, as Milo, Ideal Milk, Unilever, and all those things. There are also people who want to embark on courses. So you have ALX Africa, for instance, that is looking for influencers, and we look for the right fit influencers for your brand.
Right.
So we work with these influencers, we follow them, we understand how they create their content. So when you come to us, we're telling you that you want to sell this brand, but because of the brand and the nature of the brand, these are the right kind of influencers that you have. And one of the people who is very good at it is Delasi. That's why we call it the senior influencer strategist.
That's right.
And so she can tell you a bit more about when it comes to looking for the right fit influencers for your brand. Delasi.
So I would say, like to what Israel was saying, this is actually a reason why I'm so excited about this project, because there are so many times that when we propose influencers for brands, like one of the key questions that we asked is about their credibility to their audience, because the brand's reputation is at stake, especially for multinationals and social good brands and all that. So they are always looking for people whose values align with their brand's values, so that they don't have to start a campaign with you and along the line you have some issue online, and then the brand also has to be involved in it or has to distance themselves and all that. So one main thing that brands look out for outside of your reach and engagement and numbers is also your credibility, is what the perception that your audience has of you, because that is what is going to translate to the brand or to the campaign that you are running. So that is one key reason why, as Israel said, your integrity is at stake. It wouldn't even be on purpose, right? It may not have to be on purpose that somebody shares some information, you pick it up and then you reshare because you think, they've posted it so it could be true, and then you end up hurting your credibility because you have a bigger platform, and then the news is now tied to you. Then what happens when a brand wants to work with you? They'll say, oh, this person shares misinformation, so even their own audience doesn't trust them. So these are some of the things that brands as well look out for when partnering with influencers, which is why I personally am so passionate about this project and helping influencers and creators to identify what is real and what is fake to protect their own credibility as well.
Right, okay. If you just joined us, we're talking to Israelai Delasi Adekunu, both of them from Influencer Africa, and Professor Abena Yeboah-Benin from the Department of Communication Studies, University of Ghana. She heads the department. And together they are presenting the Creatorthon, which is happening this weekend on Saturday.
Yeah.
And it's at the Nubuke
Foundation.
Yeah, and that's in East Lagos.
Yeah, that's in it's somewhere behind Men's Vic Hotel.
That's right.
So after you turn, if you're coming on the Lagos Avenue towards Men's Vic Hotel, you get to Men's Vic and then you take a left turn, and then you take the second left after that, and you go to the end of it. It's an art space, an art gallery. So
wonderful.
Yeah, it's well known, and it's at 12 noon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. Listen, I think this is a very important thing you're doing, especially in the run-up to the election.
Yes.
These are in fact the portals of information. There is a shift, especially in terms of numbers, from mainstream media as a source of daily information to the digital world, and we have to make sure that every source is safe, so that people make decisions based on facts. So I really am excited about what you're doing.
And you're coming.
Yes, apparently.
You're on the...
You put me on a... How did you pull that off? I don't know. But yeah, that's what we're doing this Saturday.
Yeah.
So why don't you join us at the Nubuke Foundation from noon?
Yes.
And let's have a conversation. Even if you have 5,000 followers, you're influential. You have a group of people who will see whatever you post.
Yeah.
And so this will be of use. Why don't you join us?
And let's throw in something else here. We have up to 5,000 CDs to be won. We're gonna
really?
have a challenge. Yeah, we're gonna have a challenge on the
Now
day,
you tell
and
me.
And you could be walking away 5,000 up to 5,000 CDs. I mean, as in a cash prize right there and then. But we have some partners who have made this possible, and the Canadian government.
Yeah, so the Canadian High Commission in Ghana is supporting the project, and so we're very grateful to them. Grateful to Influencer Africa for jumping on this. Also, of course, to Multimedia for partnering, as Multimedia is a media partner.
Always
And
a
so we're
pleasure.
very grateful. The call to influencers and content creators, come tomorrow, bring your creative shoes and hats on, because it will be a space to be able to create content, short messages by which you educate your followers that, hey, this period, be careful what you click on, be careful what you accept, etc., etc.
And there's going to be food and drinks, and so
I'm sold.
we have X Water. They're supporting us too. So any water you come in there's X Water, and then I've spoken to Alaji's wife to come over with Alaji's wife's wachi.
That's my Saturday. Izzy Delasi and Prof. Thank you all so
Thank
much for
you
your
so
time
much.
with us this morning.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Thank
There's
you
more
too.
to come. Stay with us.